Good morning, everyone. Mac here. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons. If you would have told me back in 2019 that I would be looking at a Flash Gordon and Ming the Merciless action figure from Neca, I would have told you were crazy. But back at the beginning of 2020 at Toy Fair, which as far as I can remember, is pretty much the last big event that we had before the world caught on fire, they they unveiled their new Defenders of the Earth action figure line that was supposed to come out in 2020. I think it got pushed back because of everything that happened, and as far as I know, these figures have just come out. These hit my target very recently, actually, and as soon as I saw them, I was like, I need to get them. For those of you that don't know, Defenders of the Earth was a cartoon in the 80s that put together a lot of, like, pulp adventure superheroes into a team. You had Flash Gordon, you had the Phantom, you had Mandrake, who is a magician, and to give you an idea of what kind of magician Mandrake was, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that he was in some way partially influential in the creation of DC Comics' Zatanna, and also there was a strong man named Lothar. All of these heroes came from the early pulp era. Like, I believe most of them had their origins in the 1930s. Now, right now, the only three that are out are Flash, Ming, and Phantom. And I'm not going to be getting any of the other figures. I'm just going to tell you that right off the bat. The only two I'm interested in are these two right here. Because while I did like Defenders of the Earth, these two were the ones that I was most interested in. I'm not going to get into Defenders of the Earth too much, but Toy Galaxy did a really good video, I believe in 2019, on the Defenders of the Earth. There will be a card and a link down below if you want to check that out. Oh, got some schmutz. Oh, it's on the underside. If you want to check that out to see what they were all about. But Flash Gordon and Ming the Merciless. I was a big fan of Flash Gordon when I was a kid. There was a live-action movie that came out in the 80s that was totally camp and totally pulp and totally over-the-top and bright and ridiculous and wonderful, and it had a killer soundtrack by Queen. I even watched the cartoons when I was a kid. I had Flash Gordon coloring books. Like, he was sort of like He-Man to me before He-Man came out. It was that mix of magic and technology, sword and sorcery, spaceships and horses, the whole nine yards. Flash Gordon was fantastic. If you don't know who he is, check him out. See if you can check out the old Flash Gordon cartoons. I believe they're streaming on Amazon right now. But check them out if you can. And then NECA came out with these, and these look fantastic. These are very much modeled after the Defenders of the Earth look for them, and the Defenders of the Earth look was modeled very much after their original pulp incarnations. I can't wait to get Ming out of the box. So let's do that. Let's just stop rambling. Well, first of all, let's take it. I'm sorry. I'm getting too excited. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take a look at the boxes first. You can see we have some great comic-like illustrations down here. Flash Gordon with Laser Blaster, Blaster Effects, and Sword. Ming the Merciless with Serpent Staff, Laser Blaster, Blast Effects, and Sword. This is going to be cool. We have this star field here. On the side, it just says Defenders of the Earth. On the other side, we have the open window right here. And then on the back, we have the cross cells, which you get a little bit of a write-up on Ming. You get a little bit of a write-up on Flash Gordon here. Flash Gordon is the legendary swashbuckler of space travel. The intergalactic adventurer is known throughout the galaxy as the one man to battle with Ming the Merciless, to battle the evil Ming, and come out the hero. Flash alone understands the twisted mind of this wicked tyrant and leads the Defenders' war against him to save Earth from extinction. Ming the Merciless has been battling the unconquerable Flash Gordon for years, in their constant clash of good against evil. Desperate to seize and dominate the Earth, Ming's greed for conquest has become his obsession. And we have a little bit of a cross-cell here. There's Lothar, there's Mandrake, and there's Phantom. Here, let's bring it up a little bit closer so you can get a good look at them, since, like I said, we won't be seeing any of the other figures, more than likely. I might get Phantom, Might, but that's highly unlikely. I really think I'm just going to stick to these two. So, now that we've seen that, out of the sky his rockets ignite, jets into battle faster than light. That's from the theme. I'll put a link to the Defenders of the Earth theme, too, because the theme is one of the best theme songs that came out of the 80s. Actually, it was written by Stan Lee as well. Yes, that's Stan Lee. So, now that we're done gushing about the packaging, we're done gushing about the fact that these exist, let's get them out of the box, and we will take a look at Neca Toys, Flash Gordon, Savior of the Universe, and Ming the Merciless. Alright friends, here they are, Flash Gordon and Ming the Merciless out of the box, and before we get into anything else, just look at these guys. They look really good, the paint apps are really good, the face sculpts, which we'll take a look at once we get them closer, are really good. They do have their flaws, though. I do want to make that clear. This is not going to be a completely gushing review. There are some flaws that became apparent pretty much as soon as I got them out of the box, and we'll talk about those. Now, most of what we're going to be doing, showing the size, showing the articulation, things like that, we're going to do with Flash mostly, because Flash is your standard buck, a normal-looking action figure. Ming has all these accoutrements that I don't want to have to work around too much during this video. We'll take a closer look at Ming, but we're going to use Flash mostly for demonstration purposes. So, with having said that, let's move Ming back a little bit, and we take our tape measure, because we're going to put the tape measure to them. Should be about 7 inches tall since it's a NECA figure, and you can see just to the top of his poof, his pompadour, whatever you want to call his hairstyle. Yes, he is pretty much exactly 7 inches high. Let's put Ming to it. I am curious to see what Ming is at. Ming is 7 inches to the top of his head, looks like 7 1/4 to the top of his collar. So, with that out of the way, let's take a look at articulation of our boy Flash here. Now, his head does a full rotation, can tilt side to side, can look down, can look up. His joints are very stiff. As a matter of fact, when I took him out of the box and I was trying to pose him around a little bit, I was worried I was going to break him at certain points. So, he's going to be stiff, so keep that in mind. His arms come out to the sides. He has a little bit of interference from his shoulder pieces here. They'll do a full 360. He has bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows with not full travel, but they have a decent amount of travel. Wrist swivel, pivot in and out, not up and down. Okay? You can see from the figure he has an ab crunch. He can come forward and he locks into position. You can probably hear him. Doesn't tilt back too far. Right about there is his normal. And he has a waist swivel. And you might be able to see this belt is rubber. It's not painted on, so whenever he twists, it does warp the belt a little bit, but odds are you're not going to pose him like that anyway. Get your arms out of the way, Flash. He has ratcheting leg joints that will do the splits. They're on a ball joint, so instead of thigh swivel, he pretty much pivots right there at the hip. The legs will come forward. They'll go back, but if you put them too far back, you can start to see the ratchet joint in there. Double jointed knees that top joint doesn't want to move much. And as you can see, they don't come back all the way. Boot cut. Ankle rock. Rock side to side as well. And toe articulation. And that's what we got. Now, like I said, he's very stiff. His joints, I'm sure you can hear them creaking. And when I first pulled him out, like I said, I was afraid he was going to break. But you can see, especially down here on the boot, let's focus in here. You can see down here, right there at the ankle, right there on the toe, we're already getting some paint coming off. Just from the little bit that I've been handling him. And that's disappointing. That really is. You can see that there's even paint coming off on the wrists right here too. See that? Where the wrist pivot is. Like, I don't know why they painted it like this. Why wouldn't they just mold it in a flesh-toned color? I don't know. But the face sculpt on Flash, great face sculpt, great paint app. The hair looks good, the eyes look good, they're looking straight ahead. I really like that. But then we take a look at Ming, and just look at this, the face of a madman. Isn't that great? The deep lines, the angry eyes, everything looks fantastic. I really, really like the paint job done on Ming. This is a little crooked. This is rubber, and this is very tight. And when you turn the waist, it kind of wants to move with it. So you fight it a little bit to get it back into position. As you can see, Ming does have all of this same articulation as Flash. A few things we'll take a look at with Ming, though, is that he has this cape, and this cape does have a wire in it. Okay, so you can pose the cape. You can have it lay on him however you want. It has a wire along the bottom, just like that Pinhead figure we looked at Halloween. He also has his ring on. Now, if you don't know anything about Ming the Merciless, this ring was kind of the source of his power, especially in the movie. It plays a big part in the movie. I love, look at all the detail in the hand, though. The long nails, the veins popping out. Everything looks so good. Everything looks so good. Like I said, it's just a disappointment that that paint is flaking away already. Now we have them. Now let's take a look at the accessories. And the accessories are really, really cool. First of all, Flash comes with 3 sets of hands. Well, he has the balled up fists that you see on the figure. He has these 2 gripping hands, one for the left, one for the right. Now these are made for holding the sword. You can see with the way that they're gripping, that's for holding the sword that we'll take a look at in a second. Then he has this left hand, and this is his trigger hand. This is for holding the blaster. Now he can't hold the blaster in his right hand, because if you use this one that's meant for the sword, it overbends it, it won't hold it right. This is the one that you need for holding the gun, and that's only in his left hand. So he can hold the sword in both, but he can only hold the blaster in his left hand, or he has these 2 balled up fists. Now, Ming only comes with 1 extra hand, and that is this one, and this is his blaster hand too. Take another look at that ring right there. But this is his blaster hand, where the other hands that he has, if we bring the figure up front, you can see he sort of has this clutching power hand, and he has this gripping hand that you can use for holding his sword or his dragon staff, which we'll be taking a look at very soon. Now, both of them come with the same blasters. You see right here? And both of them look fantastic with this shiny metallic purple on it. I don't know if you can really see on the camera, but it's also kind of like textured, marbleized looking. These things look great. I hope they look as good on camera as they look in person, because these are really some great accessories. We're going to set that down for now, because both of them also come with this long range blast effect right there, which is cool. And each of them also comes with just this short burst blast effect, which I like as well. So you got 2 blasters, 2 sets of blast effects. Now Flash's sword is this yellow sword that at first when I saw it, it kind of reminded me of the power sword from the New Adventures of He-Man, Space He-Man. I like that. I like its kind of tech. I like it has that glowing yellow blade. It does not bend, like, it's not completely hard, but it doesn't bend, not like that Wonder Woman figure that we just looked at. And the detail on it, I think, is really, really good as well, especially even in the pommel right here. I like that. I really like this sword. This is Flash's sword. But now we take a look at the sword of Ming the Merciless, and this is awesome. This swashbuckling basket hilt claymore looking thing that just says, "I'm going to stab you," repeatedly. Giving it some extra color at the tip. Down at the hilt, I love this. The pommel as well. Like this just looks so cool. I really like this. How it has sort of like that same dragon scale motif that his dragon staff has, which then of course brings us to the dragon staff itself. And that is awesome! That is just so awesome. The accessories for these guys are really top notch. And I don't mean to make this a review about the accessories, but the accessories really are just something to be impressed by. They look great, they feel great, they're solid. Everything just looks so good, and it looks even better in the figure's hands. Now, Ming can get a pretty good grip on his dragon staff and his sword, as well as his blaster. Flash has a pretty decent grip on his blaster, but the sword in his right hand, actually, sword in both hands is a little loose. I would have liked to have seen it be able to grip a little bit tighter. I also would have preferred that because of the way these characters have, or the type of accessories these characters have, the way they hold these accessories, especially Ming with his staff, I wish that the wrist pivot would have gone up and down instead of in and out. Hey guys, just a quick update. All of the pictures that you see, all of the still shots of Flash Gordon that you see in this video, those are all my second figure. The first figure I had, as you can see here, when I tried to pull his one wrist out of the peg out of the wrist slot, the wrist broke. The little hinge piece broke. It ripped off, and I had to exchange it and get another Flash Gordon. The wrists are really tight, so if you get these figures, you're going to want to heat them up. You're going to want to try and loosen it up before you pop the wrist out for the first time. It's just one more thing that, for as much as you spend on these figures, it's just one more thing that I feel like for quality control, they kind of dropped the ball on that one. Don't get me wrong, all in all, I'm still really glad that the figures are made and that I have them in my collection. It's just a little disappointing how much of an issue I'm having with Flash, especially since he was the one that I was really looking forward to. Ming is still awesome, though. So here we have them, Ming the Merciless and Flash Gordon, two figures of this caliber that I never would have imagined that I would have in my collection. Am I glad I have them? Yes, I'm very glad I have them. Mainly because of what Flash Gordon and Ming to me all the way back from my childhood. Do I wish there were some differences done to these figures? Yes, I wish there was a few things done differently. First, because of the type accessories that they have, I wish that the wrist pivot was up and down instead of in and out. I think that would have made holding the accessories better. I think that would have allowed for a lot more dynamic posing. Also, I wish the paint wasn't chipping nearly as much as it was on Flash. That's, for as expensive as the NECA figures are, that's kind of inexcusable to me, that new out of the box fresh paint is coming off that easily. But I am, like I said, I am very happy that I have them. The work done on Ming's armor, on his vestments, is just fantastic. That cape with the purple outside and the red lining on the inside is just beautiful. And Flash looks really good, too. I mean, you can't gush over Flash too much because when it all comes down to it, he's a guy in a red suit. But he looks really good in that red suit. So like I said, I probably won't be getting any of the other figures. There's a chance I might be getting Phantom, but for as expensive as these figures are, for as much as NECA charges for them, and for the flaws that we can see coming out already, also I'm not as attached to the Phantom as I am to Flash and Ming, so probably not. But these guys, right now, I love them. I'm glad I have them. They're going to look great on the shelf. So, until next time, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.